Behavior represents an underlying biologically transmitted proclivity with roots deep in their evolutionary history. How many of you could see the proclivity that evolved deep within the evolutionary history of whiteness by show of hands? How many of you could see it? Some people are sitting here, oh no, I don't want to raise my hand. That's called denial. There's no discussion about the delusion and the perversion of whiteness. Say this with me. Rape culture in America is a legal, economic, and moral institution. So we have it written in the law, you can rape Black women, but we've never been a racist country. This goes beyond gaslighting, and it's rooted in psychological delusion. And I'm not seeking agreement from white people at all. I don't prioritize whiteness or white people in my work in that way. So turn to your neighbor and say, as much as we want to talk about how bad anti-Blackness is, it is the foundation of all American, all white American institutions. We then get to Ron DeSantis. He says, in Florida, we're taking a stand against the state-sanctioned racism that is critical race theory. We won't allow Florida tax dollars to be spent teaching kids to hate our country or hate each other, only to hate Black people. We will invest dollars in that. I think whites are psychopathic. I think there are many lies, the level of lying that white people do that has started since colonialism, we're just used to it. Teenagers, young people that are going out and committing home invasion and hitting women over the head with objects and stealing their purses. I want you to just say, that's just human nature. And if you're sitting here, you're going, wow, he sounds really pro-Black. I am. And for all you white people who are unwilling to admit that you're pro-white, you're just not saying it.
What would you say for folks who may say that your work is considered to be reverse racism?
I don't make room for that.
I am so happy to see that a lot of Black people support Trump move to protect their cities. And I would say 98% of the people, Black people that is, want safe streets. Think about it. When we was growing up, we was able to play in the street. Kickball, dodgeball, tag. We used to congregate in the street, on the sidewalk. You know, that was the thing kids did in the summer in the cities. Now, those same cities have their residents as hostages. And, you know, and there's a lot of people coming out and they support it, you know. And in a tweet I put out a few days ago saying, you notice that you don't see no Black people out there protesting. And it's those white liberals, I tell you. It's amazing, but you know, we want to protect the community, and it's great to see Black people stand up because they want to be able to sit at home on their front porch, watch their kids play in the yard, do the things we used to do as kids. And Now they have to sit far back in the house somewhere, worried about a stray bullet coming through the window or door. When they get home, they gotta rush through the door and lock the doors, close the curtains, you know, and they gotta protect their kids from being gang members trying to recruit them. So it's glad to see that black people are finally realizing who is a worse enemy, and that's the white liberal. All right.
Can't fix the history they did. Their ancestors made this country into a slave hell. But they can clean it up now because they got the Smithsonian. They can get rid of all the slavery stuff. They got PragerU. They can lie about the history to the children. They can't originally invent anything more than they ever were able to invent good music. We black folk gave y'all country music, hip hop, R&B, jazz, rock and roll. They couldn't even invent that, but they have to call a white man the king because they couldn't make rock and roll. So they have to stamp the king on a man whose main song was stolen from an overweight black woman.
Vaccine paperwork, that was crazy, but I didn't really care because I just complied. No kings. Remember when we also told people that they had to not visit their loved ones that were sick and dying in the hospital, the elderly, they had to die alone. That was really sad. We shut down the schools, completely wrecked the developmental learning for a whole generation. I mean, that was tragic, but we don't really talk about that because that's over now. New outrage, no kings. Remember when we were told over and over if we got that medical product, we for sure would not get sick. And even though the people that got it immediately did get sick, we were for sure told they wouldn't spread it. And then that gradually became, well, like 95%, like 75%. Okay, there's no evidence it does what we told everyone it does, but we've already made everyone take it that would anyway. And no one really cared because it's new outrage time, no kings. And do you remember during that time, anyone who tried to bring attention to these issues on social media was censored or their account was banned? And limiting free speech at that time seemed okay to me. I didn't really think about it. No kings. You don't hate authoritarianism. You just hate what you're told to hate by the algorithm and the news outlets. Be so for real. I just wish the anti-authoritarian energy was present during actual tyranny from both the federal and local governments during that time. But no, of course not. And it's not authoritarianism if the majority of the people voted for it, both popular vote and electoral votes. People wanted the border secure. So settle down and start thinking for yourself. Turn off the TikTok. It's gonna be okay.